Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a reading to shed light on the partial solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow, July 12th. The first two cards that I pulled were the Justice card and the King of Cups. They came out together. And I can't help but think of the Divine Masculine and a lot of the things that are happening. There's a lot of talk on different sites about twin flames, the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine. So I'm seeing the King of Cups as the male influence, Divine Masculine, the emotional side of, and the Justice meaning that the masculine needs to start to come to balance, especially in relation to emotions. The justice is also about fairness, perception. It's about bringing up everything that's happened in the past that might have some karmic charge to it, allowing it to come to the surface so that there could be balance restored. So it seems like an opportunity for, and when I say the Divine Masculine, it's not necessarily gender. It's the kind of energy that all of us have and can move at times. And it's necessary for us to have both the feminine and the masculine in good balance. So even if you're a female gender, you need to have the masculine and feminine in balance within you. So the Justice card is kind of indicating that this is the work that's at hand, and usually when the Justice card appears, there is a result that will happen that's satisfactory to what is needed. So I feel that this is a great time for all of us to do our inner work, to allow any of the emotional charges or times in our lives where we might have had to deal with very difficult emotional situations, to allow them to come up so that we can be free of them, so they could be rectified, balanced in our body. And so when you see justice, this could be a legal situation that you've been dealing with that will come back to balance. This could be a relationship that has been in conflict and can now have an opportunity for you to either come to union or actually move forward in your life. And it could also be related to careers. But seeing also the King of Cups, it tends to, I'm thinking that it's more related to love, emotions, partnerships, and relationships. And the King of Cups as well is a type of energy that comes from this card that resolves conflicts with inner conflicts and conflicts with others. So there seems to be something happening that is going to, from the solar eclipse, that's going to allow things to surface and for balance to be restored. And also what's called for with the energy of the King of Cups is for you to follow your intuition, to open your heart, to take time to process intense emotions and to go inward. And then the card that came out to shed more light on the first two cards is the Five of Swords. And this is a card that when you look at it, there's a lot of tension. There's a combative energy to the characters depicted. There's something about that feels disruptive, uneasy, easily triggered. So these might be the emotions that might be coming up. I think everybody will be experiencing being a little testy, jumping the gun, maybe going into negative emotions more than usual. And with Mars being in retrograde, that is something that is expected in a way. So if you could try to go through this period of time, being more observant of yourself, to be able to step back and be more compassionate, kind towards others while you're processing a lot of old stuff that is necessary for you to move, balance, so that you can step forward in your life. The next card that came up is the Seven of Wands, and this, when you look at the card, is kind of like there's a man needing to defend his position. It's someone that looks like they have courage and they're seeing it through, dealing with challenges that come up, dealing with obstacles. And also, so when I look at the card, it could be that this is the type of, we might be triggered in that way, where we feel like we need to defend ourselves. Emotionally from others, we feel the need to jump in and defend others. So it's kind of like everyone is going to be very testy. And I think for us to be able to get through this period, it would be best to try to deal a little softer with each other. Definitely, I can understand maybe wanting to separate in a way so that you're not feeling that you need to defend yourself. But softness and kindness is called for here. But don't be surprised if you'll find yourself looking to defend yourself, looking to justify yourself. So the next card that comes up, it sits right next to the King of Cups, is the Queen of Cups. And it's hard not to see both of them sitting there, the female, divine feminine, divine masculine. It just feels like there's the counterpart to the masculine. It sits in the position of the distant past. So it could indicate that there is this divine feminine energy coming back into your life from the past. It also could indicate reinforcing the idea that there's a need to balance these two energies, that both have to be worked with. So if you're the masculine and you're moving a lot of masculine energy, it's important to be in touch with this energy, to sort of incorporate some of the divine feminine, the feminine energy in you. And if you're a woman, the same thing. If you're moving a lot of masculine energy, it would help you if you could take some of the attributes from the divine feminine. But there's another aspect to this, that it could physically be someone you've been thinking about from your past, maybe your childhood, because this is in a position of a distant past that you've been thinking about. Might be related to some of the memories, some of the grief, or the situations that are coming to mind that you still need to work on and work through. And the next card sits in the recent past and is talking. It's the Seven of Cups. You see a man standing there looking at all these cups, not being able to decide, maybe not even be able to see through the illusion of the clouds of what is the right thing to do. There might be an idea that we might be under some kind of fantasy or illusion of what's real, and that there is something that we're not seeing. But it also could be opportunities, that maybe there are all these opportunities in front of us, and we're having a hard time deciding. So maybe in your distant past, you might have been thinking through some decisions related to relationships, partnerships, career, home, family, and you have been at an impasse to how to decide what to do. And perhaps all this energy that's coming in now will assist you in having more clarity, bringing things back into balance, and start to make decisions that are for your highest good. And then the next card that came up is Strength. And again, this is a card in the position of what are the next influences that we'll be dealing with. And it shows a woman petting a lion. So it could be indication that a lot of this will come to fruition in August, or it could be reminding us to be like Strength, where we could have courage and strength even with softness and kindness, asking us to allow ourselves to be more under the influence of dealing with each other with more compassion and kindness. And there's also this possibility to have more of a connection with the spirit realms, with higher guidance during this time as a future influence or a result of working through these difficult emotions. So far the reading has been about bringing things back into balance, seeing a lot of our karmic past, having opportunities to work with buried emotions, working with balancing masculine and feminine energy within us, expecting that there's going to be a combative feel to how we feel. We're going to feel testy. We're probably going to be taking a stand or in defending ourselves when these things come to light. And it's asking us to bring in gentleness and kindness to balance all these emotions with more of a softer feminine influence, so that we can actually finally see things clearly and start making the right decisions in our lives. And we have the energy of Strength to assist us. And again, Strength is connecting us more to our divine selves, to our divine guidance, and to gentleness and mastery of our emotions. So 2 cards came out to reflect more of what we look like at this moment. And there is the Hermit, which makes sense. This is someone who's does an inward journey to really get to know themselves. So it's about getting to connect with your higher guidance and your intuition, to connect to the wisdom of the higher self. So this is a great time for us to do this. It's an inward journey. And it came out with the 4 of Cups. And in a way, it's kind of like saying we might be standing in life focused on what we can see and what is preoccupying us. And maybe there's something that's coming to assist us. There's a hand coming out of the others with holding a cup, while this young boy is actually looking at the 3 upright cups on the floor, on the ground. And it's saying to be vigilant of higher help. It's saying that maybe you're not focusing on the right things, to be able to step back and look at everything at play. And the Hermit will help you do this, because if you go into your inner journey, into your inner guidance, you'll be able to start to see how your guidance is trying to help you and direct you. And direct influence on these 2 cards is the Empress. And I believe this is where we all really want to go. Where we want to be under the influence of the Empress. This is someone who's abundant. She's in a beautiful scenery of trees and vegetation, and there's love, abundance, joy, a sense of security. It's the ultimate divine feminine. It's the highest symbol of divine feminine in the deck. Maybe emphasizing that the part that we need to bring into this whole thing, this whole process that is going to be dug up by the eclipses. We have the solar eclipse tomorrow, Thursday. Then you have a lunar eclipse later in July, and then another partial solar eclipse later in August. And a lot of stuff is going to be coming up, and it's asking you to have some self-mastery, to deal with it with kindness, with compassion. And then the next card that follows that card is the Six of Swords, and it represents what we are desiring and at the same time is what we fear. And it shows a man taking a family from tumultuous waters into safe water. So it's moving on. It's coming to a safe place after dealing with an emotional period of time, a time where we didn't feel safe. So in terms of a desire, is to leave the chaos and pain of the emotional roller coaster in relation to love and family and start to move towards a safe haven. So this is this makes sense in terms of where it sits on the spread. And the final result, I wanted to pull more cards to get a better idea. So there's 3 cards that came up. Is the Ace of Wands, which talks about new beginnings, probably hearing news in relation to enterprises, careers, travel, creative work. It's a card that is great for manifesting. It's followed by the Star, which again, it shows that we're divinely guided, that we're receiving a lot of help, that what's needed is for us to learn how to flow, to balance ourselves as well. It's in the big key word in this entire reading is balance, to balance between emotions and logic, between the seen and unseen worlds. But primarily the Star offers hope and guidance. So if when you experience these difficult moments, you have to have faith that things will turn for the better. It allows you to appreciate everything in life and what it has to offer. It will bring also a good omen towards better physical and spiritual well-being. And it's a card of beauty, creativity, in relation to projects and relationships. It's a card that allows you to be fully expressed and that you can share your love, your gifts, and your talents with others. So hopefully this is what will follow once you're able to work through any of the difficulties that might come up through the eclipses. It also gives you more intuition and an insight connected to the energy of the Star, and also getting guidance from angels and spirit guides. And the last card is the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is about rest and quiet time, going inward. And this is a card that usually comes up after a major battle has been fought and won. The key word here being won. And it's giving you the time to actually be able to integrate what's happened and to rest, It's a very important part of this journey, is to go inward and rest. Keeping in mind that also this could be a very stressful time. And while you're going through this, it's necessary for you to use all the tools you have to conserve your energy. And while you're going through it, to take quiet time for yourself as well. So you'll have a chance to do that after, but during the experience of feeling the edge of what's coming up, the pain, the sorrow, you're going to feel a lot of stress. And it's okay to take time out and to take time for yourself to recharge. So although it seems like it's a tense field, a tension field reading, it's really bringing everything to the surface so that we can actually put it behind us. So that's the good part. It's not coming up just to create stress. It's coming up so that for once and for all you could put all these things, the energy that's left in them, leave them in the past, and we could move forward, and you could start to resonate at a higher level, at a higher dimension, when you're able to let go of the past, forgive the past, and move forward. So that's the reading for today.